What makes a person of interest? Coach Micheal Burt cuts to the chase, interviewing some of the biggest names in the world. How do they think? What makes them tick? What are their thought processes? And how they became a person of interest.
A person I really, really like, number one, as a person, but number two, has really been an incredible client to work with. And we've got John Bell here. So John, welcome. We're bringing something live to folks today. Hopefully people are watching this all over. So welcome to the Facebook Live on Person of Interest.
No, Coach, we really thank you for being here. We really appreciate you coming. You don't know how much this means to us, and also how much this concept means to us. I mean, one of the things we've learned being in your Monster Producer program, Coach Micheal Burt, the super coach, everybody in life needs a coach. Every good real estate agent needs a good real estate attorney. Sort of stole that from you, Coach.
That's right.
But what you've done, I mean, we've been involved in business coaching. We've done some work with Tony Robbins and some other people. And then of course, we knew about you. You're really a gem for us in the Middle Tennessee area to be so close. We know you have, we attend your teachings at downtown Nashville at your 505 location. You've got an amazing camp. I don't know how else to put it, out in Christiana. That's just amazing to go do seminars. But I'm just telling you, anybody out here who's thinking about starting a business and being an entrepreneur, you do need a coach. You need one. And Coach Burt has fulfilled that for us. He's helped us with operations, with accounting, with budgets, not to, those kind of things you may not, put in his category, but it's the complete entrepreneur package. And the amount of content that you have on your YouTube channel, folks can look in there, I guess, for free virtually, and check some of that out. But putting our company on a path toward it, discovering its values, discovering its why, living by those values, over delivering, massive value adds, all those things that you teach us about innovating in our business. And then your selling system is another thing that's been a blessing to us, because it gives us a system to where we can reach out to our ideal clients. And this all ties in with person of interest today, because what person of interest is talking about, everybody, regardless of what field they're in, they know that one go-to person. They know who's looked up to. And that person, when they're marketing their goods and services, or they are attracting people like you've attracted me to come see you, to get you involved with us today. And the idea of being able to go out, spread the message, spread the good news about what you're doing, get what you're doing in shape. Now, we're not there yet. It's a daily, it's a daily thing, getting on board with all these ideas. But just the process of implementing the ideas, becoming a person of interest, and being that go-to person in your market. And it's not that hard. It's something you can do. We're out there, we're selling ourselves. So that's a little introduction on what person of interest is today, and a little bit about what the Monster Producer program has done for our firm, and just helped all of our employees become together as a team. We're all on the same page. We've got Trevor Hartz and Savannah working for us, and just love what you're doing with them as well. And also with my office manager. So complete package, super Coach Micheal Burt. Coach, if you'll let us know, teach us about how to become a person of interest and how to attract people by who you are.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those nice words, man. And I will say this, credit goes back to you guys for being coachable. Not everybody's coachable, John, and you're curious, and you want to get better, and you've got a hunger, and you've got a drive. That is part of being a person of interest, the prey drive to want to get it. So thank you for having me today. I'm going to be teaching this concept of person of interest. I'm proud of Bell Law for getting in there with a coaching program with me and digging in, man. They've sent every person they've got to me to be coached in some way, and hopefully they come back better. So all right, I'm gonna teach this concept, John. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
And Trevor and all these folks that are in there with you, and they can help us as far as asking questions and all of those type things. And what I'll do is I'm gonna plug in right here and really teach you guys this concept. Okay. And try to break down a big concept, a person of interest here for you, because I wrote on a napkin one day, guys. As you know, I was a high school basketball coach. I didn't even understand what being a person of interest was for X number of years. I just knew that I got attention when I won. I knew I got attention when I produced good kids. I knew I got attention when I was at the top of the leaderboard, but I didn't understand the concept. And when I was 25 years old, I wrote my first book, mainly because people were asking me, what are you doing with the kids? Right? Like here, think of it this way. If you're out there and you have baked the cake successfully, meaning you've done something to some level that other people are curious about, and they're constantly asking you, like, how did you do it? What are you doing? Like, you got a secret sauce. If you've baked the cake, you can then begin selling the recipe. Okay. So at 25 years old, I've been baking the cake for 10 years. I thought I kind of had it down a little bit. And I think, people were asking me, what are you doing? And I'm like, man, I'm going to write it down. People of interest codify things. Remember that word. It's not just in their mind. People of interest create and codify how they did something so that they can share it with other people. I call it absorption. Other people can absorb it. Books, audio, video, marketing collateral. So, at 25 years old, I wrote a book. And I can't tell you how valuable that was for me, because now I'm two-dimensional. I'm not just one-dimensional. I think people of interest have these multiple dimensions to them, right? They're skilled. They're very skilled. They got deep breadth and depth. They've done unique things in the world. And so once I wrote a book, now I'm two-dimensional. I'm a coach and I'm an author. But what I didn't know was going to happen in my life is that book would get into the hands of successful business people and entrepreneurs, and I would begin to get calls and interest. Remember that word? People of interest. People of interest. So the first thing I would ask you guys today is, do you feel like you have baked the cake successfully? Do you feel like you baked the cake successfully so that other people would want to buy it? What have you created? What have you done? What have you manufactured? What breakdowns have you been through? What breakups have you been through? What have you done that other people would want to know? So I write this little book, and it gets in the hands of successful entrepreneurs, business owners, managers, and I begin to get telephone calls from these people asking me, right, what are you doing, man? Will you come over and speak to my people? See, the book forced me to have a message. People of interest have a message. They're messengers. They got a mission. They got a message. They're messengers. They got a mission, right? The people of interest, they got a message. They got a mission, and they're sharing that to the world. If you don't have a message, you're not going to be a person of interest. You don't have a set of core beliefs. You don't have anything. I don't know. Should I line up with you? Not line up with you? Are we on board? Are we not on board? Are we on the same page? Are we not on the same page? Like, what do you believe in, man? So 25 years old, I write the book. Now I got a message. Now I'm speaking. Now I'm three-dimensional. I'm speaking, I'm coaching, and I'm writing books. And I get a newspaper article written about me by a guy named David Beauclair. I hope he's watching this. David Beauclair writes a front page article about me that says, Coach Burt experiences success off the court as a top motivator. Now people begin to see me differently. You see, now they don't only see me as a high school basketball coach, they begin to see me as a successful motivator. He's not just a high school basketball coach. He's got more under the hood. He is multidimensional. He's writing books. He's speaking. He's coaching. People of interest are moving, shaking, circulating. And what's happening is the world is recognizing that. And what I love about John and his team is they're moving, they're circulating, they're creating, they're having events, they're inviting me on to something like this. They're doing. They're not talking about doing, they're doing. Okay. And so when you're thinking about this concept of person of interest, if you're not doing anything, who's interested in that? The opposite of interesting is boring, right? The opposite of interesting is boring. So interesting people are doing interesting things. They're at least in the ball game, man. They're trying, they're showing up. And so 25 years old, I write my first book, I write my second book, I write my third book. We begin to win more games. I begin to get more speaking engagement. Some of the people ask me to speak. Some of the people ask me to coach. Now I'm moving. Now I'm circulating. Now I'm in front of people, right? 31 years old, I retire from athletic coaching and I say, I'm going to be a business coach. I'm going to coach business people. I'm going to motivate people, right? Like I'm going to take people to a higher frequency. Okay. Here's the deal. Here's the advice I got. Okay. I'd love to see how many of you have gotten this advice. Of all the attendees that are watching this, how many of you have gotten this advice? Call 100 people a week. Join the local chamber. Hand out business cards to everybody you know. How many of y'all got that advice, right? A bunch of you got that advice. Here in essence, here's what we're taught. We're taught to chase business, chase leads, try to convince people. Right? Chase leads, try to convince people. That's what we're taught in life. Okay? How many of y'all believe chasing anything sucks? Right? I do. I believe chasing anything absolutely sucks. Wouldn't it be nice if we could attract? Wouldn't it be nice if we could attract so much opportunity to us? So much business to us, so much possibility to us that we never had to chase anybody again. How do we become the buyer versus the seller? See, that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to become a buyer versus a seller. Okay? The buyer in any transaction, for the most part, has an advantage over the seller. Because the buyer's got the resources. The buyer's got the money, right? The seller's trying to sell you something. But what if you became so valuable that other people wanted what you had so badly that they would come find you? You know, I was thinking this morning on the way down to Nashville. I'm down in Nashville at the 505, and I was thinking, as I was listening to a sermon from Jimmy Evans, I was thinking about how much I really would love to spend time with him. He's so good. I was thinking about Robert Greene that wrote the 48 Laws of Power and Mastery and the Laws of Human Nature. He's so good. I'm thinking, how do I get access to these guys? How do I be trained by them? So I call their office and I say, what would it be like to spend time with them? And they say, well, it's $5,000 or it's $10,000 or if it's $100,000. And if you want it bad enough, what do? You pay for it because they're people of interest. What do? Create television programs, create books, create audio, they're creating something. So I want you to understand the core principle of person of interest, because at 31 years old, I go out and do what everybody tells me to do. Hand out business cards, join the local chamber, make 100 calls a week. I'm not saying don't do those things, but at some point in your life, you want to move from an amateur to a pro. You want to leave your amateur desires behind and you want to go pro. And when you go pro, you're not chasing business anymore. You're not in the field. You are the field. You're not one of the top financial guys. You are the number one guy. You're not one of the top mortgage reps. You are the number one rep. You're not one of the number one title company. You are the only title company. You are the person of interest. You're a must-have versus a nice-to-have. So what I started thinking of is one day on a napkin, I wrote down, I want to become a person of interest. I want to become a person of interest. I want to become interesting. I want people chasing me. I want business coming to me. So what do I got to do? I got to have some core beliefs. So here's the core beliefs I got. Tell me if you believe the same things. Number one, people who get the most attention get the most opportunities. See, some of you think, this is a big problem you got. Return on investment, return on investment, return on investment. I put $1 in, I get $3 back. What you ought to be thinking is, how do I return on objective? My objective is to become known. My objective is to become famous. My objective is to be known, because I believe, here's a belief statement, people who get the most attention get the most opportunity. I didn't say leads. Some of you are thinking wrong. You don't need more money. You need more people. Would you rather have $1 billion or would you rather have 1 billion friends? If you had 1 billion friends, you make more than $1 billion. Some of you thinking everything's got to be a lead. I got to sell everybody something. No, some people are strategic partners. Some people are referral partners. Some people are advocates for you. Not everybody's going to buy your services. Not everybody needs your services right now, but that doesn't mean they can't fight for you. Doesn't mean they can't believe in you. Doesn't mean they can't open new doors for you. The people who get the most attention get the most opportunities, guys. Some of you are secret agents. You're the best kept agent and you're the best kept secret in your whole market. You can't sell a secret, folks. You can't sell a secret. You got to sell something valuable. So when you're thinking about this concept, right, and you're thinking about this concept, I'm looking at your comments out here. Okay, let me turn this down. I want to see your comments that you're making right now. Ken, Lauren, Lori Stye, Justin Myers. Okay, you guys are watching this. Thank you, Megan Farrell. Good morning. Okay, you're secret. You got all kinds of talent. You got all kinds of skill. You got all kinds of knowledge. You got all kinds of prey drive and desire. You got all kinds of likability. Here's the problem. Nobody knows who you are because you're not moving. You're not circulating. You're not placing yourself around other people of interest. You're not like gravitate toward like. Successful people hang around other successful people. Struggling people hang around other struggling people. Excuse-making people hang around other excuse-making people. Big-time people hang around other big-time people. If you want to be big-time, you got to get around big-time people. People who get the most attention get the most opportunity. Number two, the best products don't win. Right? You guys are thinking that if I just create the best product, I could take you down to Nashville right now. I could take you down to Broadway. There may be somebody who can sing their heart out down on Broadway today that will never become a major country music singer. The best products don't always win. The most talented people don't always win. You need a little fairy dust. You need a little luck. You need to know the right person. You need to be in the right circles. You need the right marketing. You need the right packaging. You see, some of you think because I'm talented, I ought to just be number one. But that ain't how it works, guys. When Garth Brooks came to Nashville, he got turned down 7 times. And one of the songwriters said, when you come to Nashville, talent ain't enough to become famous. You need a little fairy dust. You need somebody to know you. You need the right person to know you. You're just one person away from a new season in your life. But if you don't place yourself in proximity to those people who can help you and have enough common sense to be good to those people. I can't tell you how many people can help you, but you got a bad attitude. And bad attitude makes for hard lives, guys. People of interest don't want to help people who have bad attitudes. It's that simple. They don't want to help them. They don't want to help you. People want to help you when you're have an incredible attitude, especially toward people of interest. Everything is based on perception, okay? Everything is based on perception. You can build that perception through the actions you take. Now, if I followed you on Facebook today, and I'd love to just pull some people up. If I followed you on Facebook today, and I was going through my list here of folks, and I said Beth and Catherine and Chip and Cody and Jonathan Bowman and Lakin and LaTanya Martin, and I said, if I followed you on Facebook or Instagram, what would I see? Because that's a website for you. You're telling me what I need to know about you. Do you whine? Do you complain? Do you pout? Do you feel sorry? Do you blame people? What do you put on Facebook? Do you want people to feel sorry for you? Do you play the victim role? Do you get on there and talk about how tough life is? Do you want attention from people? See, you want attention, but you get it the wrong way. You want to get attention, but do you get attention the wrong way? Every Facebook post you have, every Instagram post, every LinkedIn is you are forming a perception about you. Are you friendly? Are you mover shaker? Are you doing big things? Are you doing small things? Right? If you're trying to drive your person of interest score, you got to ask this question. I very seldom talk about this, so I'm glad you're on here with me. Every post I make on social media, I ask myself one thing: how will it help other people? Will it inspire them? Will it motivate them? Will it give them confidence? Will it give them energy? I'm not posting for me. I'm posting for you. I'm right. I don't whine. I don't complain. I don't make excuses. When I get on Facebook, I'm there to help you. When I get on Instagram, I'm there to help you. And if my post won't do one of those 4 things, inspire you, motivate you, give you confidence, give you direction, then I ain't doing it. I ain't posting it. Too many people use their platforms to talk about themselves. Other people don't care about you. Okay, they care about themselves. Study human nature. So when you are trying to be a person of interest, you got to understand it ain't about you. It's about them. Now, you can use your story to inspire them, which is something I try to do. Look, I did it. You can do it. But here's the deal. How can I help you do it? That's what you ought to be thinking. So our problem is we want to become known in the world, but we don't know how. So here are 4 or 5 problems that we got. Number 1, obscurity. You're hidden from the world. Obscurity means hidden, not in plain sight. Obscurity. You're obscure. Nobody knows you. Why? Because you're making 1 post a day. Because you're doing 1 thing a day. Making 1 post a day to be a person of interest is like throwing a pebble in the Pacific Ocean. Right? Like, why do you think I do a theme? Have a theme. Fight the funk. Why am I doing it 15 days? Why do I do it every morning? Why do I do things at night? Why do I make the hundreds of YouTube videos John was talking about? Why do I come to the 505 and circulate? Why do I move about? Why am I building a greatness factory? Why am I flying around the country? Because I want to be a person of interest. The higher my person of interest score, the more people I can help. So you don't want to be a person of interest just to be famous for your own sake, although it will feed something inside of you to be known, to be famous, to be known, renowned, to be celebrated. It will feed something inside of you, but it's really to help a lot of people. So here's your problems. Obscurity. You're unknown. Okay. When Trump ran for president the first time, statistics showed 96% of Americans knew who he was. They may not like him, but they knew him. 96% of people knew who he was. First step, become known. They're not celebrated. You're not celebrated. You're working with the wrong people. Ain't nothing more energy draining to a person of interest than working with low-level people. People of interest. Why do you think Steve Jobs, when he came back to Apple, went and hand-selected the people he wanted to work with? You, and you. You're going with me. You are staying here. You're staying here, and you're staying here, right? A players only want to work with A players. Okay. Next problem is you're selling to too few people on planet Earth. And just mark it down. This is the number 1 problem you got. You don't have a talent problem. What you really have is a marketing problem. You don't have a talent problem. Some of you got a talent problem. Some of you got a lazy problem. Some of you got a work ethic problem. Some of you have the work ethic, the knowledge, the skill, the desire. You have a marketing problem, which means you don't know how to distribute your message to the world. So the world don't know they don't know who you are. Now, when you're thinking about that, okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I want to take any questions. We've got questions back here if you want to type into the chat box. If you want, I'm going to call on some folks and see. Chris from WFG, I'm going to allow you to talk for a second. Do you have any questions so far for me?
Good morning. I appreciate this.
Good. Talk a little bit louder, big guy.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but I can't hear you that good.
I haven't used this computer. I had 2 Zooms going on at one time, so I just got on about 10 minutes ago. I apologize. That's funny.
All right, I'll come back to you. All right, you can type your question in too. Okay. All right. Anybody else that's got a question? That's got Bart. I'm going to bring you on. You want to? Can you talk? I know you guys are listening. You're listening in your pajamas, right? No worries. Now, here's what I want you thinking about. And he said, "Yep, I am listening into my pajamas. That's good." All right, Chris, I'll come back to you, big guy. Now, when you're thinking about this, if you got a question, type it in the chat box, because what I'm trying to get across to you guys, and I know you're watching on Facebook and you're watching inside this deal, is that it don't matter how good you are. It absolutely does not matter how good you are until people know who you are. And if, my wife's got a book called Living with a Monster, right? That's my wife's book called Living with the Monsters. How you live with an obsessed person like me, because my coaching program is called Monster Producer. Don't matter how good the book is, she don't promote it. It don't matter how good the book, how many people can it help unless people know about it. So we have to promote. You don't have a talent problem, you got a marketing problem. Now, let me give you some ingredients of people of interest. Number 1, specific knowledge. They're never generalist. People of interest are never generalist. They're always specialist. Think heart surgeon versus general practitioner. When I ask you what your primary skill is, and I say, what's your primary skill? And you go, boy, man, I'm a good person. I work hard. I show up early. I stay late. That's not a skill, guys. A skill is a talent you have that solves a problem for another person. That's a skill. I call it a primary skill in my book, Single Digit Millionaire. In Person of Interest, I talk about this specific knowledge you have. You got a specific knowledge and you got a hard skill. You don't have generic knowledge and generic skills. People of interest have very specific skills, i.e., my skill can solve your problem. I can take something complicated and make it simple. I can break down any concept. I can communicate with anybody, anywhere, anytime. These are skills. I can negotiate better than anybody on planet Earth. I see opportunity where other people see nothing. I can take liabilities and turn them into assets. These are skills. Skills solve problems. People of interest have impeccable skills. So they got knowledge. They got skill. They got a very big engine. This is a problem with some people, is you got knowledge and you got skills, but you ain't got the engine. And the engine, right? The engine is the prey drive. That's the flip the switch. The book I'm writing right now, Flip the Switch, is how do we have an engine? How do you show up every day? How do you have persistence? How do you have intensity? How do you not fall off the wagon? That is the engine. I've never met a lazy person of interest. I have never met a lazy person of interest. I'm going to shut this door because it keeps dinging. Okay. My refrigerator was open, so it kept dinging. Now, so when you're thinking about this, do you have an engine that people need? Okay. All right, Chris, I'll come back to your question in just a second. Great question. So I'm looking at your person of interest score and I'm going, this dude is missing something. He don't have specific knowledge. He's got general knowledge. He don't have impeccable skills. He's got average skills. He don't have a big prey drive. He's got a small engine. He's got a little V4. He's got a 4-cylinder when he needs a V8. Okay? And he don't have any confidence. People of interest have contagious confidence. They don't have generic confidence. They got contagious confidence. They got confidence coming out of their ears. Okay? They got so much confidence that they can give it to other people. It's not arrogance. Arrogance is when your self-appraisal is greater than your market value. You think you're better than what you really are. Okay? And I see a lot of people who think they're better than they really are. Okay? That's pride. Humble. People of interest are humble, coachable, teachable spirit. So if you had to type in right now where you're missing out of these 4 ingredients: specific knowledge, impeccable skill, incredible desire, and contagious confidence, where do you think you're missing? If you had to type in right now on Facebook, if you had to type in right now on this Zoom you're watching, this Zoom, what are you missing as it relates to those 4 things? Because when I'm coaching a person, I'm looking at those 4 things: knowledge, skill, desire, confidence. Knowledge, skill, desire, confidence. People of interest have knowledge, skill, desire, confidence. Big time people of interest have specific knowledge, impeccable skill, incredible desire, contagious confidence. Okay? Which one do you think you're missing today? Just type it in the chat box. Now, I'm going to take a question right here from Chris. Chris has got his Zoom. He's got himself together. He's an overachiever, so he was doing 2 Zooms at one time. I appreciate that. Chris from WFG said, I had another Zoom call. I always love what I hear from you. Thank you. Can you speak to the crazy time we're currently in, how to get over not being able to see folks in person? Here's what I would tell you, Chris. The way you get over it's what I'm doing right now. I speak for a living. I do conferences for a living. I do boot camps for a living. I've done more Zooms, more webinars, more Facebook Lives, more Instagram posts, more everything than you can imagine over the last bit, right? I'm telling Lakin right now, get us some IG footage and pics. Okay? We need to be on Instagram more. We need to be doing this more. We need to be doing that more. Listen, in my opinion, COVID is going to help me make more money than any other time period in my life. And I'm 43 years old. I'll be 44 in a month. You know why? It's forced me to get so much better at my craft. It's forced me to come up with new ideas. It's forced me to create new products. It's forced me. I think when it's all said and done, this period will be one of the best things that ever happened to the business, some of the business owners. It'll be some of the worst things that happen to some of the business owners because they'll just give up. They'll just quit. Competition, external factors always weeds out people that are not tough enough. In tough times, strong people get stronger. Weak people get weaker. Okay? So, Chris, to me, this is still, we're live, man. It's like I'm sitting in your office right now coaching you. It's like you're sitting at one of my training sessions at the 505, which you need to be in, by the way. Right? But this is the way we got to do it. This is the way we got to do it. We don't whine. We don't complain. We don't make excuses. This period will help you if everybody just toughens up. Okay? Now, Beth's got a great question. Real estate can be so broad. How do we hone in on here's what I would tell you, Beth. It is broad, but you got to develop a very specific skill, i.e., I am the number one real estate. I'm the number one negotiator in the state of Tennessee. Nobody is better. Nobody on planet Earth is better at regulating the emotions of a buyer than me. I can get more money per square foot than any other person in the state of Tennessee. Nobody is better at marketing a product or a house better than me. That's how you skill up and be a person of interest. You become known for something. So if I ask you, what do you want to become known for? What would you tell me? I would position myself. Here's what I would do if I was a real estate agent. Man, this is good. John Bell, I'm so glad you invited me to do this, man, because I'm coming up with stuff today I hadn't come up with in 43 years. I would go to the Harvard Business School of Negotiating. It's $3,500. I would take the course online or I would go in person, Beth. I would come back to Tennessee. Now, let me tell you something. I've said this. I've thought this for years. Nobody will do it. I would go to the Harvard Business School of Negotiating. I would come back to Tennessee and I would tell everybody on planet Earth that I'm the only real estate agent that has been through the Harvard Business School of Negotiation. And I have been coached and trained by some of the top negotiators in the world. Therefore, I am the most qualified to negotiate more money per square foot, more money on the sale of a house, more money on the buy than anybody here. You name one other agent in Tennessee that's done this. There isn't none. Okay, there's that southern double negative, right? Okay, there isn't none. There isn't any. Okay, so Beth, that's what I would tell you. Find something that you can lock down on, become known for. I've become known as the number one activator of Pray Drive in the world. You look at my website, it says leading authority on the activation of Pray Drive. Leading authority. That's why I'm writing the book, Flip the Switch. That's why I got a podcast called Flip the Switch. That's why I'm doing boot camps called Flip the Switch. I want to be known for something. I don't want to be a generalist. Tim Hooper, how does a young, skilled professional attract opportunities? Would love your perspective. Tim, what you got to do, man, the way you attract opportunities, you get out there and you have something that people want. Is it your skill set? Is it a product or service you create? How do you go out? See, what I did, I didn't even know it initially, is I had a platform because I was a championship coach. Okay. And when you become a championship coach, it means you know how to win. So I become known. Oh, there's that championship coach. There's the dude that took a place that had never won and won. Then I started writing books. Then there's the guy that's writing books. Then, oh, there's the guy who wrote Person of Interest. Oh, there's the guy who's building the Greatness Factory in downtown Nashville. And there's going to be greatness factories all over the world. That's how you become person of interest, is you create something, you do something, you solve a problem in the world, right? The way you become a person of interest is then you get around other people that are people of interest. This afternoon, I'm going to be spending some time with Tony Geritani. If you know Tony Geritani, he is it's the Donald Trump of Nashville. He built the 505 and many of the great properties in Nashville. And over the last couple of months, I've been spending time with him, just talking to him. And I'm putting the Greatness Factory in the 505. So now we got something in common to talk about. That's how you become a person of interest. Now, here's the deal. I got about 7 or 8 more minutes, and then we're going to take any Q&A that you have. Let's talk about primary skill for a second, because I believe people of interest have a hard primary skill And primary skill is Zuckerberg was a coder before, right? Zuckerberg was a coder before he started Facebook. He wasn't a businessman. He was a coder. Cardone was a sales professional, right? Bill Gates, computer nerd. Everybody who's anybody first has a skill. I call that a primary skill. That skill must happen. You must have a primary skill to attract demand for the skill. My skill is taking teams of people, taking complicated business growth and making it simple. My skill is getting teams to an elevated consciousness. My skill is helping people learn how to make more money through coaching the whole person, body, mind, heart, and spirit. That's my skill. So if you don't have a skill, you don't have any demand. If you have the skill and you don't have demand, it's because you don't know how to market the skill. You don't know how to distribute the skill. You don't know how to get attention for the skill. Go back to P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum knew how to get people to the circus. Look at all the things he did to get attention, to get people to the circus, man. He was incredible at marketing that circus because he knew until he gets people to the circus, don't matter. Nobody's buying any popcorn. Nobody's riding the elephant. Nobody's looking at the bearded lady. Nobody's doing anything unless they come to the circus. So what he did, create buzz, create energy. So I would ask you, do you have a primary skill? Do you know how to market that skill? Because once you market it and distribute it, now you start to build demand. Now you start to have a network. Now, here's one tenet of people of interest. They got deep networks. People of interest are highly connected creatures. They're legendary creatures that are highly connected to people. So some of you don't have a talent problem or a skill problem. Some of you do. Some of you have a distribution problem. You got a marketing problem. You don't have a network of people. And once you have a network of people, you don't engage with them enough. Let me use some real estate stats because many of y'all are in real estate. Okay. 67% of people use the very first real estate agent that contacts them. They don't use the best one. They don't use the best looking one. They don't use the most experienced one. They use the first one that they think of. How do you be everywhere? How do you be omnipresent? How do people constantly think of you? You engage with them. You market to them like crazy. You bang on them like crazy, right? Like you elbow them like crazy, like you're always in their face. That's how you be a person of interest, is you're always there. I see your name everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see your name. Okay. Now there's a particular real estate agent in Nashville that I see his name everywhere, but he's not likable. Okay. Because he's not likable, I don't want to help him. Okay. Some people don't understand how not being likable or being rude. Every time I've seen the dude, he's rude to me. So here's the deal. I don't want to help him. That's a shame because I coach thousands of people a week. I coach thousands of people around the country. He's got the knowledge. He's got the skill. He's got the desire. He's got the confidence. What he does not have is likability. Now, if you don't have likability, people don't want to help you. So I think one of the tenets of people of interest you'll see in my book, Person of Interest, is likability. Smiling. They got good energy. They're friendly. They're open. They're inviting. They're not closed off. They don't think they're better than other people. They're not rude. If you make a bad first impression, it takes 21 positive interactions to overcome the first negative one. I think most people of interest have a character. Giratani's likable. I liked him the first time I met him. I like this dude, right? I like him. He's confident. I like him. What if I said, I don't like him? I may take my greatness factory somewhere else. So for you, you got to understand these tenets. Okay. So if you don't have a primary skill, you got to find it. That'd be a big takeaway from this workshop today. If you don't know how to market or distribute your skill. Okay. So let's talk about that. Then I'll take questions. The way I market my skill is I have a selling system. It's called legacy selling. As a matter of fact, all of my books are free on my website right now. All of my top books, Person of Interest is free. Legacy Selling is free. Inside the Mind of a Monster is free. Single Digit Millionaire is free. You can go to coachburt.com and I think you pay the shipping. It's $9.99. I got to pay my mother-in-law to ship them. She ships them for me. Okay. And then I got to pay the shipping. It's $9.99 to get any of my books. They're free, but you pay for the shipping. Now, here's the deal. How do I become a person of interest? Every day I got a hit list. Every day I got a farm club. Every day I got a top 25 of my top 25 clients, and I'm moving. I'm in Nashville, and I'm at the Lodge, and I'm in New York City, and I'm in California, and I'm in Phoenix, and I'm moving, and I'm partnered with Tim Story, who's a celebrity life coach, and I'm doing something with Tim Grover, who coached Michael Jordan, and I'm doing something with Sharon Lecter, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Kiyosaki, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm partnering with John Bell, and I'm doing this. Like, right? People of interest every day, circulating, moving, moving, moving. They're never static. Think of energy as dynamic, static, or entropic. People of interest are always dynamic. Some of you don't move enough. Some of you don't circulate enough. Some of you don't have enough strategic partners. Some of you play local. Some of you play small. Some of you scared to get attention. Some of you afraid people won't like you. So we got to get over that if we're going to become a person of interest. So here's what I do, and then I'll close it out. I'm constantly planning events. I call that the showcase. People of interest are planning events. There's a private dining hall here at the 505 where that's really cool. It's got a wine cellar. I'm going to use that room to have high net worth people come in, have dinner. I got a lodge I use. I got a plane that I use. I got a bus that I use, right? I got a place in Florida I use. I use these places to host events. You're not hosting enough events because when people come to events, they get excited. When they get excited, they want to be more involved with you. Number two, I'm hitting social hard. If you're going to be a person of interest, you got to hit social hard. I got a message. I got a mission, and I'm the messenger. Everybody with me? And I'm going to bang it out. Boom, 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 boom. Some of you ain't banging it out enough. Number three, I'm doing position papers, blogs, press releases. I'm doing position papers, blogs, press releases. As I'm doing things, I'm pushing out to the market. Coach Burt partners with Celebrity Life Coach. Coach Burt's doing this. Coach Micheal Burt Enterprises is doing this. Oh, we're opening Greatness Factory. Oh, Coach Burt's taking ownership in a gym. I'm hitting my database every week with content. I'm marketing and advertising. I'm spending money on advertising. You probably see my legacy selling ad for my book, Legacy Selling, that's free. I've got credibility indicators. I'm doing all of these things at the same time. That's called intentional congruence, where everything is feeding everything. Okay? So let's stop there. And let me just close it by saying, do you want to be a person of interest? You better believe it, man. Why? Because people of interest move the world forward. You have a desire inside of you to be known. You have a desire to be somebody, to be counted. It is deep, deep within you. Most desires are to heal a wound from your past. Maybe you weren't known as a kid. Maybe people laughed at you. Maybe people made fun of you. Maybe you never thought you'd be something. Maybe other people told you you'd never be something. Right? It don't matter. You have a desire to do something big in the world, and that's really what people of interest do. They don't talk about it. They be about it. They don't tell people what they're going to do. They do it. They don't care if people like it or don't like it. They're not afraid of rejection. They know that some will and some won't, and so what? They have something special, and they're going to share that special with the world. That's what people of interest do. And if you want to be one, then be one, right? First step. Pick up a copy of my book, Person of Interest. It's at my website. It's free right now. Okay. I was pulling my website up today earlier just to show people on my team how we were doing it. And when you go to coachburt.com, who changed my thing here? When you go to my website, guys, you see right here, store. You can go right now and get this book. See that? Free. You pay the shipping. That one's free. One on confidence is free. My wife's book's free. Okay. $1 Million Follow-up's free. Everybody Needs a Coach in Life is free. What am I doing, John, giving all these free books away? Single Digit Millionaire's free. Legacy Selling's free. All of these right now, you can go to my website and get these books. This is the one I've been talking about today, how to be a person of interest in the world. That's my philosophy on being a POI. You pay the shipping, right? You pay the shipping, and we put that puppy out to you. We sign it, and we get it to you. That's the first step. Think about getting in my coaching program. Second step. John Bell is in my coaching program. All of his people, and they're great. All of them have been in my coaching stuff. They're on fire to get better. I love it. They're becoming people of interest. You got to get in the game, folks. You got to get off the bench, and you got to get in the game if you want to be in the game. So thank you for having me today. I've got just a few minutes for questions if anybody wants to ask. If anybody wants to ask in the chat box or the Q&A, I'd be happy to take a question. If you get multiple books, is it shipping per book? The answer is yes. The way the ClickFunnels are set up. Now, the ClickFunnel will not let you buy all the books at one time. I hate that about ClickFunnels. But Beth, if you email me at coach@coachburt, we'll get you an order of those books and ship them right to you. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? I had fun doing this, man. Reinvigorated, remotivated me. All right, let me do one thing here. And does anybody have any questions they want to ask me? Savannah Tate, thank you for setting this up. You guys are awesome. If you're not going down to John Bell and seeing these folks, they get it, man. They absolutely get it. They're delivering stuff. They're showing up. They're bringing me stuff at the office. They're coming to the coaching program. I'm telling you, man, they're on fire for what it is they do. So I want to thank you guys for having me today. It's been an incredible experience. Everybody needs a good coach in life. Take what I gave you today. Please go do something with it. Please go do something with it, right? Strategic partners, drive up your person of interest score, and God bless you. Just know that a good coach can change everything in your life. It's time that if you're watching, it's time to be a person of interest. You guys have a great day. God bless you. What if you could be coached by two of the top coaches in America on two specific things necessary for your success: confidence and comebacks? Confident people come into everything like there is no limitation. That we can do it.
Very good.
With you in my corner, with my confidence, there is nothing that we can't do. That's how confident people think. Insecure people see everything as a risk. They can constantly contract. Economy's bad, I contract. I would tell you contraction is very seldom the answer to anything. What you want to do is push out, exert. Now, please don't misunderstand me. Sometimes people misunderstand me when I say this. They think, are you saying I got to spend more money? No, I'm not saying that. Exert more effort. Exert more positive energy into the universe. Exert, right? Work your networks deeper. When I'm saying expand, I'm saying confident people come into every day and expand. Here's what I figured out during this period. In tough times, strong people get stronger.